Town halls tonight, a stark difference from the first debate, but both candidates' behavior is being studied by the University of Arizona's National Institute of Civil Discourse. As KOLD News 13's Carly Tinsley reports, they say it's made for the most divisive America we've seen in years, but it doesn't have to be that way.
In the simplest terms, it just means engaging each other with dignity and respect.
In this election cycle, Executive Director of the National Institute for Civil Discourse, Keith Allred, says those two things have gone by the wayside.
I'm not going to listen to him.
So we've been more deeply divided in our country before. We had a civil war, and during the civil rights and Vietnam era, those were very deep divisions. What's different this time is that we're so deeply divided along partisan lines.
Moments that support this, the first presidential debate. Allred studies presidential candidates' discourse going back to the 1960s. This one, he says, was unlike any other.
Do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
I can tell you what, all of us could see for ourselves without formal analysis. The first presidential debate in 2020 was just much worse than any had gone before.
And you want to know what's crazy about this political divide? It's that Allred says average Republicans and Democrats actually agree on certain policy issues, but that we've just become so angry with one another that it's become this us versus them mentality that's often fueled by the loudest voices.
But the extremes talk louder and longer than the rest of us, and so they create an outsized impression, and so they create a misimpression that the divisions between everyday Americans are greater than they really are on the issues.
No, the answer to the question is no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
So how do we become better? Allred says keeping things civil starts with the basics, like not interrupting and listening completely for understanding. And of course, quit the name calling.
Absolutely not. Stop.
They're practices Allred says we all need to work on to leave the next generation intact.
We should really take responsibility and say, hey, we have to pass this republic off to the next generation in better shape than it is now.
Carly Tinsley, KOLD News 13.
Another tip, Allred says, be willing to move on. Not everyone will be reasonable or have views that are based in fact. It's okay to agree, to disagree, and walk away.